I'm assuming that anyone that's watching this reaction or this analysis has probably seen this video dozens of times before, probably seen dozens of other reactors. People are obsessed with this video. If you've never seen the video, turn this off immediately and go watch it.
Holding in the way, that's what I heard them say. They used to heed the words he said, but that was yesterday. Gold will turn to gray and youth will fade away. They'll never care about you, call you holding in the way.
Good morning. Well, the day has finally come. I'm going to do my analysis of High Ren. I really can't call it a reaction because I've been studying this song for weeks. I've watched many other reactors who have really helped me to understand it. If I had to give a reaction to the song from when I saw it the first time, I was horrified. I'll explain as we get into it some of the things that triggered me about this video. But upon study, it's a masterpiece. It's a tour de force. It's great theater, great acting, great musicianship, great guitar playing, great poetry, great singing, great rapping ability, great rapping writing. And beyond all that, it's a quick course in mental illness and how to deal with the demons that some people face. I've been very fortunate in my life not to experience major mental illness like it's going to be depicted in this video. Perhaps because of that, I'm not terribly empathetic. It's not part of my personality to understand and relate to people that are suffering to this degree. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. I guess you can learn to be more empathetic, but I haven't done very well in that department. I have a very low EQ. I hope to point out some things that I noticed that have not been commented on by other reactors, although certainly I will steal some insights that I've gleaned from watching other reactors. We should also give them an honorable mention for staging, scenery creation. We have a very bleak looking room here, just a couple lights and crappy paint job that's peeling off the wall. No natural light, no windows, a very depressing looking space. Okay, let's stop right there. The man is wheeled out in a wheelchair. He's wearing a hospital gown. Now, perhaps this is a normal haircut in Britain, I don't know. But to me, he looks like a mental patient. And I think it's kind of what he's going for. So immediately, I'm put off by this. Before he's even played a few notes, I'm like, what am I watching? It reminds me so much, and maybe a younger generation doesn't have this cultural reference, but a book by Ken Kesey called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which was made into a movie in 1975, featuring Jack Nicholson as a patient in a state mental hospital. And one of the most grueling scenes of the whole movie was Jack, who was a happy-go-lucky, wise-ass type of character, being given electric shock treatment. Just a horrifying couple of minutes of that movie that I guess stuck with me.
Mr. McMurphy?
Huh?
Please follow me.
You may, Chief. Take a cigarette break, boys. Easy. fine. You? Seated. Ah. Huh? Hurt, and it'll be over in just a moment. Uh-huh. What's that?
Conductant.
A little dab will do you. Right, Mr. Jackson?
Open your mouth.
What's that?
This will keep you from biting your tongue.
Well?
Now just bite down on it.
Oh.
That's right. Just bite down.
Huh?
Now bite down on it.
Good. Are you ready? Here we go.
So that's what this reminds me of. A patient that perhaps, maybe they don't do that anymore, but it looks as if he just came out of electric shock therapy or something. In any case, he was wheeled in by an orderly wearing a pig mask and a butcher's apron covered with blood. So I think he's sending a message about the state of psychology today. Maybe we don't give people electric shock, but the things we do to them are equally as bad. So he starts to play the guitar, and I've done, I guess, 3 other song reactions to Ren now. So I recognize right away that he's perfectly capable of playing a major key harmony. I'm not a musician, I'm certainly not a musical theory expert by any means, but I can hear that he's bending the notes and playing, you'll see here in a second, playing kind of off-key, on-key, off-key, back and forth. And I think that's the first hint, of what we're about to see, that there's 2 sides of Ren, 2 sides of the coin, as he says at the very end. There's the Bad Ren and the Good Ren. I'm assuming that anyone that's watching this reaction or this analysis has probably seen this video dozens of times before, probably seen dozens of other reactors. People are obsessed with this video, and they watch every reaction. So welcome to Old Men in Chairs. Spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about things that are in the front of this video and how they might relate to things later on. If you've never seen the video, turn this off immediately and go watch it straight through. By the way, I also have added captions, the lyrics, to this particular version that I created myself. I did that for 2 reasons. One, the existing captions are never accurate, and that helps me. That process of writing the captions and correcting the captions helps me to really understand every word that he's saying and the meaning of every word. Now this little song is going to be reprised at the end with a lot more emotion, but here's what I think of it. I reacted to one of the interviews that he gave, and he was talking about how he loved to perform at busking, like in public, and he developed his performing skills, and he felt that he was at his best when he lost all self-consciousness of the fact that he was singing and just was in the moment. And I think this type of singing, which is almost similar to a bird call, it's an animalistic sound that he's making. It's not, there's no words here.
Hi there, Ren. It's
been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Cause I always come back. Deep down you know that. Deep down you know I'm always in periphery. Ren, on your pleased to see me. It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me.
So, introducing Bad Ren. Bad Ren is very mean and mocking in tone and ridicules Ren and tries to tell Ren that he's worthless and he needs the bad side of him to set his proper expectations and not think that he's any big deal. Obviously, that kind of represents the inner struggle that Ren goes through, that part of him is always questioning what he's doing and making fun of what he's doing. And this probably more than anything really set me off, because the voice is crazy, angry, mocking, and nutty. And he's talking to himself. And so right about here, originally, I was done with this. I was like, no, I'm not interested in this. I don't understand it. It's too crazy. It's very theatrical. I'm not a big play goer. Maybe there's some great plays that have been performed, but that's, I hated Cats, for instance. I can't suspend my disbelief and think that somebody on a stage is real. There's always an element of fantasy that you have to indulge in to make a play seem real. I'm sure it happens, but I'm not as susceptible to that, being able to let go of reality. And then, of course, you notice anytime the Bad Ren is talking, the lights are flickering and the guitar playing gets a little more off tune and a little more crazy. And he's telling him, Ren, you need me. you can't go on your own. The Good Ren we're about to meet has a different view of things.
It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me. Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still.
Those two lines, the opening lines from the Good Ren, are the only lines that are repeated in this song. They start the song, and then at the very end, they start the final chorus. Other than that, everything is unique. There's no repetition. There's no chorus, really. And that's not really a chorus, but he just does repeat those two lines. Right away, of course, he turns and faces the other direction when he's the Good Ren, and in the Bad Ren, he faces to the other side. And the guitar playing softens, and the voice, much lower, calmer, and softer. He seems very reasonable as the Good Ren. And the lights will stay on.
Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. And I've been making some progress lately, and I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed you much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill. Ren, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are really there to guide you? Been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect to always being lied to. Okay, take another pill, boy. Drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this 10-step program, rejoice. All your problems will be gone. Fucking dumb boy.
One thing that we notice is that the Bad Ren has mad rapping skills. He's rhyming both internally and at the end of lines. That one, he said, boys, white noise, rejoice. He's going quite fast as well. Ren is an excellent rapper. He's an even better writer of a rap lyric. It comes out actually more through the Bad Ren than the Good Ren. There's a few rhymes in the Good Ren, but nothing like what you just heard.
This time is different, man, trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place. And my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great. And when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help. You think that you can amputate me? I am you, you are me, you are I am we are one. Split in two, that makes one. So you see, you gotta kill you if you wanna kill me.
And there, very dramatic section where he stops playing the guitar and just tells the Good Ren, hey, you and I are one. We're all part of the same person. There's no Bad Ren and Good Ren. There's just a Ren. And if you want to kill me, you've got to kill yourself. Very powerful line.
You gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah? Wow, your Grammys, Ren. No way! Yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stats. I never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in.
Doesn't that describe a lot of people's artistic endeavors? I'm more of a writer than a YouTube performer. I wrote a compilation of my columns that I had published in a newspaper, and the title was Writing for Myself and Pissing Everyone Else Off. But you do it for yourself. You do it to crystallize your own feelings about a subject. And if anyone else gets any enjoyment out of it, that's great, but that's not why you do it. And many artists are that way. I mean, sure, it's great to have fame and fortune, and Ren certainly has attained that. But that's not his motivation. His motivation was to do something that connected with people. Regardless of even if it was a small number of people, that was enough. Many, many artists who will never be famous are out there doing that for their own peace of mind.
But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in. Man, you sound so pretentious. Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself. Trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget it. Man, it's not like that. Man, it's just like that. I'm inside you, you twat. No, it's not, man, you're wrong. When I write, I belong. Let me break the fourth wall by acknowledging this song. Ren sits down, has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with his subconscious, Eminem did it. Played on guitar, Plan B did it.
He says, let's break the fourth wall and talk about this song. So it's a song within a song. The Bad Ren is saying, hey, this song that we are in, that we're currently performing, it's a ripoff. You know, it's already been done. You know, you're just a copycat. Very, very clever.
Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material. Ren, mate, we've heard it all before. She sells seashells on the seashore. Fuck you, I don't need you, I don't need to hear this. Cause I'm fine by myself, I'm a genius. And I will be great, and I will make waves, and I'll shake up the whole world beneath us. That's right, speak your truth, your fucking god complex leaks out of you. It's refreshing to actually hear you say it instead of downplay it. Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus.
There's the Bad Ren mocking the Good Ren by saying basically what the Good Ren actually does think, that it's the process of creating that's important, not, you know, how popular you are or how many records you sell or whether you're on Oprah. But a very funny voices he uses, a pretentious voice, to make fun of Ren's true feelings.
Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus. Fuck you, I'ma fucking kill you, Ren. Well, fucking kill me then, let's fucking have you, Ren. I'ma do it, watch me prove it. Who are you to doubt my music? Cause I call the shots, I choose if you die. Yeah, I call the shots and so I choose who survives. I'll tie you up in knots when I lock you inside.
There was some sort of an electrical charge there. It was almost like he was sitting in an electric chair, and he made noises of sizzling electricity and kind of shook his body. Again, kind of reminded me of electric shock therapy. And now Bad Ren is revealed as to who he really is. He's not just a part of Ren's personality. He's much older than that.
Newsflash! I was created at the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am the snake in Eden. I am the reason for treason. Beheading all kings, I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the morning, Lucifer, Antichrist, father of lies. Mustopheles, truth in a blender, deceitful pretender, the banished avenger, the righteous surrender. When standing in front of my solar eclipse, my name is stitched to your lips, so you see, I won't bow to the will of a mortal. Feeble and normal, you wanna kill me? I'm eternal immortal. I live in every decision that catalyzes chaos, that causes division. I live inside death, the beginning of end. I am you, you are me, I am you, Ren.
So that Bad Ren is not just within Ren. He's immortal. He comes from the beginning of time. He was at the Garden of Eden. He was a snake. He's all the different incarnations of the devil and the demons in the world. He's inside many people's heads. Luckily, if he's in my head, he's never spoken to me about it. But so many people relate to that idea. The guitar playing gets its probably most frenetic here as the Bad Ren climaxes with his true identity. And then we're going to see a remarkable response from the Good Ren, or maybe a third Ren who transcends both good and bad.
I am you, you are me, I am you, Ren. Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts to...
That's actually true. I mean, so much of this story represents things that happened to him in his life. He was ill. He was misdiagnosed. It's all in the interview that I reacted to. He actually had Lyme disease, but didn't know it for a long time, and he was very debilitated by it. And he was diagnosed as having a mental problem. So he was given all types of drugs to try to, calm down what they thought was his mental issues. And they also tried things to deal with his physical issues, and nothing really worked for many, many years. And that's why he had to give up his music career a couple times because he had absolutely no energy. Eventually, he was finally diagnosed correctly, and he came to Canada for treatments. And I guess they are working a little better because he's been pretty productive for the last year or so.
I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts turning, just as sure as the night has dawned, just as sure as the rainfall soon runs dry when you stand in an eye of a storm. I was made to be tested and twisted. I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet.
This is the most powerful part of the song. He talks about how he was made to be battered and beaten. It represents his acceptance of all the suffering that he's had, that it was God's hand, his hand, that did all that to him, kind of like Job, I guess, in the Bible. Just suffered and suffered for years on end. But it was all for a purpose. It was all to get him to this point where he could stand on his own 2 feet and be strong. Most people that I've seen who react to this song actually break out in tears at this moment. I don't, because I'm not that emotional. It almost reminds me, and this is a horrible thing to say, but it's like Ernest Ainsley or one of those televangelists who suddenly heal somebody and they couldn't walk before, but now they get up out of their wheelchair. It's a little bit of a trick. If you thought that he was actually paralyzed, then all of a sudden, oh my God, it's a miracle. We know he wasn't paralyzed. We know he was doing that for an effect. But it's a very powerful trick, and it works on most people. I just don't happen to be emotionally wired to respond to that.
I was made to be tested and twisted. I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet. And you know me, my will is eternal. And you know me, you've met me before. Face to face with a beast, I will rise from the east and I'll settle on the ocean floor. And I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope. Some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope.
People have reacted to that line, but they won't actually verbalize their reaction. And I think that's because there's a prohibition on YouTube about mentioning people who eliminate themselves, and you can't use the S word. But the way I read this line, it's about a person who came very close to eliminating themselves and at the last minute decided, no, I'm going to go on, I'm going to give it one more try. That voice in their head that stopped them from going to the end. Maybe I got it wrong, but that's the way I heard that.
And I go by many names also. Some people know me as Hope. Some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope. And you know how I know that I'll prosper? 'Cause I stand here beside you today. I have stood in the flames that cremated my brain, and I didn't once flinch or shake. So coward the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs, that I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspired by me to be strong.
Well, he's done that, hasn't he? He's inspired many, many people to be strong, people that have suffered similar mental frailty, emotional frailty. And you just have to go to any of his songs and read the comments, and so many, many people will say, oh, thank you, Ren, thank you for exposing what these issues are. And they get so much strength from his battle and his success. And of course, when he starts singing here, that does move me more than standing up, because he hasn't sung other than the high falsetto noises that he made. This is the first time he actually sings in the entire song. It's not a very long section, but we know the man has an incredible voice, and that voice moves me.
So coward the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs, that I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspired by me to be strong. And when I am gone, I will rise in the music that I left behind. Ferocious, persistent, immortal like you, we're a climate different side.
So there he is, accepting that we're one coin with two different sides. He's finally accepted that he's accepted both the good and the bad side of his personality. And he's melded them together to find like a greater Good Ren, even than the Good Ren that we've had up to this point. Very inspirational that he could rise from, he had a couple psychotic breaks where he was totally detached from reality. He talks about that in the interview, that he could come from that place to where he is right this moment is very, very inspirational to many, many people. He leaves you hanging just a little bit at the end there, but in general, I see that as a song of celebration. It's very high-spirited. He's strumming the guitar very hard. He's rocking around, and I view that as his celebration of finally breaking through and becoming integrated in his personality and his music. So now, at the end, we're not quite done. There's a soliloquy.
When I was 17 years old, I shouted out into an empty room, into a blank canvas, that I would defeat the forces of evil. And for the next 10 years of my life, I suffered the consequences, with autoimmunity, illness, and psychosis. As I got older, I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare, but there were victims and there were students.
So you have a choice. You can't win, you can't lose, but you can suffer as a victim, or you can become a student and learn from the experience. And that's what Ren has done. He has learned, and he's about to tell you what he's learned.
I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare, but there were victims and there were students. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a pendulum, eternally swaying from the dark to the light. And the more intensely that the light shone, the darker the shadow it cast. It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax.
I love how his voice relaxes. His whole manner relaxes as he pauses and he says, I learned to relax. That's the key. You can't fight every battle. You've got to pick your battles. You can't always take the bait that life throws at you. Sometimes you just have to relax and wait it out.
So I got older, and I learned to relax. And I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. It is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons, from gods. And I must not forget, we must not forget, that we are human beings.
And as human beings, we are not perfect. We have faults. We have frailties. In some cases, we have illness, both physical and mental. In the end, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. Ren has certainly triumphed in this part of his life. This is, as I said, a tour de force of musical, theatrical, lyrical, singing, stagecraft, spoken word, poetry. It's all there, folks. There's a lot to unravel, but I did the best I could.
Holding in the way, that's what I heard them say. They used to heed the words he said, but that was yesterday. Gold will turn to gray, and youth will fade away. They'll never